Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Edu to Psychology. We welcome you in our next lecture, that is lecture 4. And in our previous lecture, we have covered the evolutionary perspective of human behavior. And in this lecture, we're going to cover the biological basis of behavior. Now, an important difference of our behavior is the biological structure that we have inherited from our ancestors in the form of developed brain and body. The importance of such biological bases become obvious when we observe cases in which brain cells have been destroyed by any disease, use of drugs, or an accident. Such cases develop various kinds of physical and behavioral disabilities, and also many children, they have developmental retardation and other abnormal symptoms due to transmission of faulty genes from the parents. The first thing that comes to our mind is the neuron term. Neurons is basically the basic unit of our nervous system. These are specialized cells which possess the unique property of converting various forms of stimuli into electrical impulse. They're also specialized for reception, conduction, transmission of information in form of electrochemical signal. They receive information from sense organs or from other adjacent neurons, carry them to the central nervous system, that is to the brain and spinal cord, and bring motor information from the central nervous system to the motor organs like muscles and glands. Now, nearly 12 billion neurons are found in human nervous system. They are of many types and vary considerably in shape, size, and chemical composition and their function. Now, despite these differences, they share in common three fundamental components: soma, dendrite, and axon. Now, the soma or cell body is the main body of the nerve cell. It contains the nucleus of the cell as well as other structures common to living cells of all types, as we can see in the figure. Now, the genetic material of neuron is stored inside the nucleus and becomes actively engaged during the cell production and protein synthesis. The soma also contains most of the cytoplasm, that's your cell fluid of the neuron. Dendrites are the branch-like specialized structure emerging from the soma, and these are the receiving ends of a neuron. Dendrite function is to receive the incoming neural impulse from adjacent neurons or directly from the sense organs. On dendrites are found specialized receptors which become active when a signal arrives in electrochemical or biochemical form. Now, they receive signals are passed on to soma and then to axon. So, the information is relayed to another neuron or to muscles. The axon conducts the information along its length, which can be several feet in spinal cord and less than a millimeter in the brain. Now, at the terminal point, the axon branches into a small structure called terminal buttons. Now, these buttons, they have the capability for transmitting information to another neuron or gland and muscles. Neurons generally conduct information in one direction, that is from the dendrite through soma and axon to the terminal buttons. The conduction of information from one place to another in the nervous system is done through nerves, which are called bundles of axons. Nerves are mainly of two types, sensory and motor. Sensory nerve, also called efferent nerve, they carry information from sense organ to the central nervous system. On the other hand, motor nerves, also called efferent nerves, carry information from central nervous system to the muscles or glands. A motor nerve conducts neural commands which direct, control, and regulates our movements and other responses. There are some mixed nerves also, but sensory and motor fibers in these nerves are separate. Now, when we talk about the nerve impulse, information travels within the nervous system in form of a nerve impulse. When stimulus energy comes into the contact with the receptor, electrical changes in the nerve potential starts. Nerve potential is a sudden change in the electrical potential of the surface of a neuron. Now, when the stimulus energy is relatively weak, the electrical charge are so small that the nerve impulse is not generated and we do not feel the stimulus. If the stimulus energy is relatively strong, electrical impulses are generated and conduct towards the central nervous system. The strength of the nerve impulse, however, does not depend on the strength of the stimulus that started the impulse. The nerve fibers work according to all or none principle, which means that either they respond completely or do not respond at all. The strength of the nerve impulse remains constant along the nerve fiber. Now, the information is transmitted from one place to another within the nervous system in form of nerve impulse. A single neuron can carry a nerve impulse up to a distance covered by the length of its axon. When the impulse is to be conducted to a distant part of the body, a number of neurons participate in the process. In this process, one neuron faithfully relays the information to a neighboring neuron. The axon tip of a preceding neuron make the functional connection or synapses with the dendrites of another neuron. A neuron is never physically connected with another neuron. Rather, there is a small gap between the two, and this gap is known as synaptic cleft. The neural impulse from one neuron is transmitted by complex synaptic transmission process to another neuron. The conduction of neural impulse in the axon is electrochemical, while the nature of synaptic transmission is chemical as shown in the figure. The chemical substances are known as neurotransmitter. So that's it in this lecture. We will request you to please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and we wish you happy learning. And we would be happy to receive your comments, your suggestion, and would love to work on it. Thank you.